I've been heading down a one-way street, can't turn around. You've been taking every part of me, now you know where to be found. You got me confused, a little off balance. Thought I knew you, but you got bad habits. I only see blue when I'm thinking about you, thinking about you. I'm feeling anxious and slowly breaking. Give you my heart, but you keep my waiting. Searching for answers, no explanation. You make love so complicated. I'm feeling anxious and slowly breaking. Give you my heart, but you keep my waiting. Searching for answers, no explanation. You make love so complicated. You make love so complicated. I thought I knew you. You make love so complicated. I give you my heart. You make love so complicated. So damn tired of trying to understand why I still believe that what we have was ever meant to last. Guess you made a fool of me. You got me confused, a little off balance. Thought I knew you, but you got bad habits. I only see blue when I'm thinking about you, thinking about you. I'm feeling anxious and slowly breaking. Give you my heart, but you keep my waiting. Searching for answers, no explanation. You make love so complicated. I'm feeling anxious and slowly breaking. Give you my heart, but you keep my waiting. Searching for answers, no explanation. You make love so complicated. I'm slowly breaking. You make love so complicated. I'm only seeing blue. You make love so complicated. Why do I still believe you make love so complicated?
I live my life searching for the light. Been learning to fight through the darkness. I'll get this right. We were born to shine, and we still got time. It's not hopeless. Don't look now. Here comes that awful feeling. My walls are caving in. Heaven help, I can see my ghost on the ceiling. Let me breathe again. 'Cause I just wanna live my life. I'm never backing down. I swear I'm gonna fight the good fight. Just wanna get it right. I'm ready for it now. You know I'm gonna fight the good fight.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to AEC. You'll notice that I am not the usual Leicester-bound tones of Joseph F1. That is because he is on sick leave. We wish him all the best. And you've ended up with me. Hello. I am NVR Chelsea, formerly FRT Chelsea. And yeah, I've somehow wound up in the comms box. And alongside me tonight is Lennon. How are you, mate?
I'm alright, yeah. I'm ready to commentate over what would be the pinnacle of AEC at the moment. I've only really commentated over Tier 2 this season, so it should be a lot better standard considering what's happened with Tier 2 now.
Well, yeah, of course, that was sad to see Tier 2, of course, folding, but of course, no time to think about that now. We're straight on to Tier S, and we shall have a look at the standings. Here they are, coming up in just a second. There they are. NVR locking out 1 and 2 in the drivers' standings. And how impressive do you think they've been this season?
I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't
Well,
really been
just
keeping up with it.
based
with
on
it,
what
to
you're
be
seeing on
honest.
the screen, lad.
Uh, I mean, no, 35 points clear, so they must be doing something right, and they've got points in every race so far. Minimum, the lowest points they've got is 35, so they're doing pretty well so far.
Exactly, and of course, behind them are the two drivers of PSR Placky and PSR Arch. PSR, of course, folding as a team. It has been a huge couple of weeks since we went on break week in round 4. PSR and Parnell Racing have both shut down, which of course is it's a massive shame because they're two humongous teams that we'll surely miss. But where there's departees, there's also room for people to come in, and the two teams that have come in, Outplayed and TF10. Just what do you think we'll see from them this week?
It'll be interesting to see where they fare in this grid at the moment, but we're happy to have them in. Obviously, we needed someone to fill in them two spots, and they've both stepped up to the plate, and hopefully will provide a good standard of racing for us.
Yeah, of course, Outplayed known for their PS side, TF10 for their highly successful PC side. Both teams with pedigree making initial forays into the Xbox scene. It'll be good to see how they get on. And all the drivers are nearly into the lobby. We are only missing a part. In fact, no, everyone is in on time because, of course, Outplayed this week, only fielding the one driver. In Quantum, so it's a hell of a driver to be fielding, if we're completely honest. But yeah, now while we wait for the lobby to get going, let's have a look at last year's Hungarian race in Tier S. And what's striking me about that is that the top 4, top 5 actually, none of those teams exist now, which is quite frankly absurd. Joe Murphy is for Bunga Racing Team is actually the first of the drivers who is still at the same team now as he was back when this race was happening, which is just completely insane. And there's so many names there. PSR Wilson departed for PC, NRX Levi departed from the scene seemingly. So many names there that just scream heritage to me, but no time to think about the past. We have a race to get going, and we surely shall get going in a second. I will just ping the drivers to let them know that we're going. So, Lennon, the Hungarian Grand Prix, been on the calendar for nearly 40 years now. What do you like about this track? Do you think it's good for racing?
I think it's half decent for racing. I mean, there's a lot of corners where it's going to be a real struggle to try and get around them. Obviously, there's quite a few corners that you're going to have to be at your best straight away off these corners. I mean, looking at the likes of like the 6 and 7 in Sector 2, that you need to get that perfect if you want to be setting a good lap time here. And if you want to be going for overtakes, really, you want to be looking at around probably the main straight. So that's one of the early main overtaking spots. But I think it's a decent track and should provide a good bit of racing for us today.
Well, hopefully, of course, DRS being so powerful in this new game is going to provide ample opportunity down that front straight, as you said very correctly. And the middle sector, of course, is a challenge. It will very much be processional through there, but there is always the odd move you can throw around there. In fact, in the intro highlights reel that we have, one of the best moves in there is from FRT Rain last season in the Ferrari, round the outside of Race Roller into turn 6, which is just, quite frankly, a ludicrous place to try and make a move. And if we see anything like that today, we'll surely be jumping for joy. But anyway, the drivers are now loading in. We can nearly bring you the Hungarian Grand Prix in Tier S. I'll switch over to the main screen now. Oh, wait, no, wrong screen. Overlay. That's the one I want. There we are. You can see what I see now, everyone. Welcome. We're just waiting for Cam and his American internet to get loaded in. Lovely. Cool, crikey. And I've taken ages. This there's lag and then there's just laziness. Cam, come on. He is of course a staple in the community by this point, so we'll forgive him for it. Anyway, what sort of weather will we be seeing? That looks dry to me.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit dry. The sun is shining here at the Hungaroring. And I'm going to ask now, early predictions. I know obviously you're not too in tune with what happens in TRS, but if you were to pick one name that you recognise here that could be a potential race winner, who would you reckon it would be and why?
I mean, the main one you got to be looking at is probably Bowman. He's obviously leading the championship at the moment, so he'll be looking to put himself on pole position and win this race to extend his lead up there. But you have got a fair few good drivers in here. Obviously, you've got to be good enough to be racing in this, haven't you? And the names that stand out to me are the likes of Easton, both FRT drivers as well stand out to me. So these are all names that I've seen in these races at the moment. So hopefully we'll be seeing a good bit of racing, and I feel like it is going to be quite close at the top, but I feel like Bowman might just pip them all to the win.
Yeah, of course, some of these drivers do have form for this circuit because the World Qualifiers took place here just a month and a half ago, and I would know because I was competing in them. And one of the top times in that session was from Liam Bowman, who set a not 19, Jesus Christ, it was a 14.6. And BRT, despite topping World Qualifiers, opting not to use either of the drivers that did that for them. Joe Murphy not on the roster, and Gabor is not racing either. They've drafted in Carty and Passy, a very reliable pair of hands, both of them. And we have our first few drivers going out onto the track now in the Mercedes of who is that? That's Choco. And round the track already halfway actually is Shazoo Venom, so we'll follow him round as he sets his banker. Lap times round here you want to be looking for, in terms of bankers, probably a 0.8 or a 0.7 would be like an exquisite banker, but obviously everyone makes mistakes. There won't be perfect bankers, I wouldn't think. So maybe a 0.8 or a 0.9 should see Venom onto provisional pole.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what times they do set. But like you say, you want to be aiming for them sort of times, because if there's big gaps in these qualifying times, anyone can jump into them. It's that competitive this year, so hopefully we'll see a good bit of qualifying here.
Exactly, and Venom now rounding the final corner to start his flying lap, and we'll follow him round as he does it, coming down the front straight, heading towards speeds of around 310 kilometres an hour, brake at the 100 metre board. You want a late apex here in order to fire the car out turn 1 and down the second DRS straight, through the flat kink of turn 2 and down in towards turn 3. Brake just before the 50 metre board. You want to kiss that grey curb. He perhaps kissed it a little bit early there, didn't use all the track on the way out. Curb on the outside, now we're up the hill towards the start of sector 2, and this left-hander is one of the most difficult corners on the track. 27 dead is very good, but he loses the rear, and now he's got a Mercedes in front of him. That will be Lucas. Really needs to get out of the way, and he does so. Now coming into the chicane where we've seen many a move into AEC TRS, clobbering the curb very much, and now we're into the sweepers in the middle sector, taking a lot of minimum speed there. This is very committed from Venom, but I do worry that mistake at the start of Sector 2 costs him. Rounding the final corner of Sector 2, the middle split's a 53.7, which isn't that great. This is looking like a 15.0, 15.1 sort of banker, which is a little bit off what I think we're going to see the best drivers doing. And of course, Venom racing for Shazoo. Shazoo, a huge name in the community, will be looking to impress as he rounds the final corner, up towards the line, DRS open. What's the time going to be? It's a 15.0. Oh, great prediction from me. Next across the line will be Lucas starting a lap. Is that Bowman rounding the final corner? Yes, he's 2/10 up on where Venom was, so perhaps will we see a 14.8? Oh, I'm just magic at this point, aren't I, really? But yeah, both Ferraris starting a lap now. That is an Alfa Romeo coming round to finish. It's Carty. Oh, got a little bit loose coming out of that corner. 15.2, and next in line is an Alpha Tauri. I would assume that's FRT Harvey. It is on a 54 dead, which isn't particularly great. Hesitant on the throttle at the final corner, and he goes slowest of the 4 times. Unfortunate for Harvey. There's a Williams just crossed the line of Bobbert. I can only assume he invalidated, or he's just started. He's only just started. Passy up to second for Bunga Racing Team. Is that Drobble crossing the line? He's just starting a lap. There's a Ferrari also starting a lap. Who's next? Placky, we'll follow Placky round. Zinity goes 3rd. Choco goes 7th on the 20.1. That's bizarrely off the pace. Placky does a 15.2 as well. Goes 6th fastest. Dan on the medium compound tyre. What do you make of that, Lennon?
It's an interesting strategy. I mean, obviously he'd probably be saving his softs for the actual race. So, interesting strategy, but he might just be looking to see what the pace is like on them tyres for the race, because obviously it's going to be interesting to see his strategies. So there's going to be some very interesting strategies in this race, so they will probably most likely all involve the soft tyres.
Apologies for the stream audio. I've turned it down. I don't know how it sounds now. If you could let me know in the live chat whether that's any better or whether I've made it too quiet. I'll try and flip back to who's on a lap. Is that SLR Nico just about to start one? That will be Bobbitt's crossing the line. You'd expect him up the front, and he does oblige with a 15-0, within half a tenth of his teammate Venom. There's Shazoo drivers 4th and 5th as Drobble goes to the top of the times, the 14.8, same as his teammate.
You've turned the stream volume down, not the game audio.
Right. Right. If you couldn't tell I'm new to this, is that any better? Right. I'm hoping that's fine. Dawid, I can't... Now game audio down. Oh, what more do you want from me? I don't know what I'm doing. Right. Right, I'm on game volume, and it is as low as it can be. Car engine noise from within the game. Right.
Yeah, do it in the game settings, yeah.
Yeah, audio settings. The lengths I go to for you people. Right, anyway. Now, are you not entertained? Right, okay, now you're just being fussy, you stupid Tory. No, absolutely not. Right, anyway, we've had the first runs. Nico is the last person on a run. 59.9 is well off the pace. That will not be any sort of representative time. That's going to be a 30 or a 29. 29.6, yeah, that very much is. He just wants a delta. I assume he must have spun somewhere because that is just hideously off the pace.
He massively slowed down. He let someone past, so...
He let someone past on his flying lap?
Yes. What I saw anyway, he just slowed down and someone drove past him.
Right, okay. So he's let someone through on his flying lap. There's interesting tactics from the Summit League racing team, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. So let's just take a breather. There's the bankers and the audio dilemmas, all resolved. We have an NVR 1-2, just as it is in the driver's standings, though the opposite way round. Drobble in second in the standings is leading his teammate Liam Bowman, Passy in third, which is great to see because he's a staple of the community, Passy, and he's a very nice person. Zinity in fourth, 2 Shazoo drivers locking out row 3. Cam 5675, I didn't notice that actually. Slotting into P7, I set him the challenge earlier of finishing 8th or higher, and he's obliging so far, so fair play to him. Although a lot of these bankers are a little bit off of where I'd expect them to be, especially from someone like Quantum, who is one of the best drivers on this platform. Setting a 15.4 is a bit out of character, I'd almost say. The first driver on a lap is a Mercedes, and it is Choco, so we'll give him the Venom treatment we gave him earlier. We'll follow him round for the whole lap, unless he invalidates. His SLR Sam. I don't know why I flicked to him, but here's SLR Sam. Anyway, back to Choco. Lennon, if you want to take us through this lap, that'd be great.
That's fine, yeah. So he's making his way round 12 up towards 13 now, ready to set his lap. And he's going to want to be trying to shave off at least 5 seconds there, isn't he, to be
just
in any contention.
Seconds. Just the
5 seconds, yes.
Yeah,
as he comes to line now, ready to set his lap. Making his way down towards turn 1 on this main straight. It's a very long straight. It's going to be very interesting in the race. And he loses the back end there and sort of slides it around that first corner. As he makes his way down towards 2 and 3 here. How's he going to do on these 2 corners? Takes him a lot better in the first corner, so he's done a lot better through the back end of Sector 1 there as he makes his way into Sector 2 across 4 and he does invalidate.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He just took too much of that entry curb there, got way too greedy, and it has unfortunately cost him, and he'll be relying on his final run in order to get anywhere other than 18th. TF10, of course, new to this competition. They had signed up, did not race in round 1. Lucas also on a 27 dead. And that is actually quite competitive. Oh, that's hideously wide. And he's going to get right out onto the curb, nearly in the wall. Bob's your uncle. That lap is finito. The next driver round, who's somewhat on a lap, I think is an Alpine. So let's find out which one it is. It's not Zenity, it'll be the other one. Where's the other one? Blackie. There he is. Right, 53.5. That's competitive. If he can put in a stellar final sector, this could see him potentially onto the front row. Maybe pole. Depends. Rounding the penultimate corner, keeping it fairly tight, then drifting out on the exit. Almost into the pit lane entry, he was running that wide, which is the line you want to take. Tight round the final corner, use the curb, up to the line. Where does this put Blackie? 4th. Just ahead of his teammate Zenity. Harvey, by the way, has split the two Shazoo drivers in 7th place. Decent effort from the ecologist. And Cam, who I was praising earlier, has, as soon as I've gone on board with him, made an absolute meal of that corner, which is very unfortunate. Carsey, 53.3 through the middle sector. Hold your horses, and he's made a mess. That corner really wasn't ideal for him. This could still be the front row, but I doubt it's going to be any more than that, as I forgot to mention Passy has just gone a 10th.5 clear at the top of the timings. Very impressive lap from the German. What can his Northern Irish teammate do? Only P5. That final did cost him. As an Aston Martin pits, Bowman invalidated on his lap. Very unfortunate for the MVR man. We've got Quantum coming up to the line, 53.7 in the middle sector. And again, 15.3. He's massively off the pace here, Quantum, which isn't what you'd expect. Oh dear, my controller batteries are low. Oh dear. Oh, I should have a spare. No, a spare pair. Yeah, there we go. Spat it out eventually. Yeah. I'll try and keep going with this pair for as long as I can, just to make sure I've got the most amount of charge possible. But if worse comes to worse, I will just use my wheel to scroll up and down. Anyway,
have you not got a wire to plug it into your Xbox?
No, I don't have a wire connection, unfortunately. I'm very much a beta in that regard. I think that is the latest round of runs done. Drobble also improved while I was frantically searching for batteries, and does a 14.7 again. None of these times quite coming close to the world qualification times, or the best of them, that were set almost a month ago, which is slightly surprising, as you would expect with setup evolution that teams would be making strides forward. Not quite happening for them so far, but of course there is another run as Venom goes second. The Padman, who I didn't even know was on a lap, has just silenced any shouts from Joe Murphy of the BRT front row by sticking his own car onto the front row. Very impressive lap there. And we have a Ferrari coming through the middle sector. That is Eastern, and he is not on a lap. That is great. Anyone else on a lap? Bobberts? No. That Aston Martin surely isn't. No, it's Drobble. And that Mercedes is causing yellow flags. It's going so slowly. So that is the second round of runs done. Lennon, what are your thoughts?
It's been a very interesting qualifying so far. Obviously, Passy and Venom coming out of nowhere seems to do their laps, but we know the quality of Passy, and I haven't seen Venom before, so I'm interested to see how he does. I mean, I don't think I've seen Venom before, so I'll be interested to see how he does.
You probably have. He's been around for a fair while, Venom. I mean, I can remember starting league racing and he was kicking about in the top tiers. So he's a well-known driver. That's McLaren. Is it on a lap? It is on a lap. Yay, we get to follow someone. 53.8. Yay. I'm not sure I'm happy I'm following this. But yeah, anyway, down into the penultimate corner. Can he claw back some time in the final sector? If he can put together a half-decent final... Oh. Hold that thought. Anyway. Simba Rocks not on a lap either, and now that is officially spoke too soon. We have now officially finished the second round of runs with Passy on provisional pole. Not someone who I thought was going to be on provisional pole. I've got to be honest, I was hedging my bets on a Drobble Bowman front row, not just because I'm an MVR, but because they are two extremely fast drivers. Yeah, any surprises there for you?
Apart from Passy, really, not really. I mean, it's obviously going to be a lot closer now. Obviously, Lucas has set that 135. Surely he's going to come out again and try and do a lot better, which he is out now. It is very close, isn't it? It's all within 1 second apart from Lucas.
It is, but almost I'd expect it to be closer, because Hungary is not an easy track by any means, but it's one of the easier tracks on the game. It's actually so, and when the track is easier, it's easier to find the limit, and when so many drivers can find the limit, you tend to find the times are much closer. So a second is actually more than I expected it to be. But, of course, there is still another round of runs. Kiwi says, Chelsea, don't watch my 2 drivers on their run, please. Is that like a bad luck thing? Because if it is, I am very, very sorry. Yeah, Carsey really was on a good lap there. 53.3 through the middle sector is fire dog. And unfortunately, he just made a mess of the first corner of the third sector. And he's going to need a big improvement on his final run in order to get anywhere near his teammate. As we watch Lucas, who will be the first car to set his final run. He's gone early, has Lucas. And I don't know if you can see on that map, there is a lot of traffic coming out the pit lane. He might have to back up a little bit here in order to avoid these people. Yeah, cough it all out, don't worry. But yeah. Now we're going to follow Lucas round. And actually what I haven't done all stream, and I've just realised, I haven't used broadcast cam. Here it is. Here is broadcast cam in its full glory. You now get to see the Hungary ring from above as he's going to slam the brakes on into turn 1 now. Oh, it looks so much quicker off board, but he looked to miss the apex a little bit there, really mounting the curb, and there's marbles all over his tyres, and he's actually... Is he backed off? I think he must have backed off because he's just driven on the grass. And something that I do need to mention with that is that marbles, final run at Hungary, are absolutely lethal, and you just lose all grip if you go even slightly offline. So it's difficult circumstances in which to set a lap. And I'm going to have to disobey orders from Kiwi here. I'm going to follow Passy. Oh, he's already invalidated. Okay, false alarm. Yeah, that's fine. Is he saving battery? He is saving battery, so he's going to go for another run, but not right now. Do you know what? I'm going to follow Placky round because he is in 5th place, and he's obviously a very well-known driver. Could be looking for an outside chance of pole position for TTM, of course, refounded earlier in this year. Back at the top of console Xbox League Racing, and they'll be looking for a good result here. Placky 26.9, first sector. Hold your horses. That is pretty quick, and it's a midpoint 9 as well, which is even more impressive. Now, as he comes into the chicane, now he's going to try and clip both apex curbs. Oh, that was a little bit deep into the first one. Second one, not so bad. Through the sweepers.
I believe that's probably his battery's gone there, so I'll follow him through for the rest of his lap. Now, this Placky sets a purple sector 2. We know how bad this game could be, so it's probably not purple. As he makes his way towards turn 13 and 14 here. Is he going to hit Passy to pole position here? I don't think he is going to. I think he's just backed off a bit too much there. I don't think he's going to get it. Yeah. He's got himself up into 3rd.
Not a bad lap.
He's got himself
Apologies.
up into 3rd.
Yeah. Smeggy, yeah, I do apologise. Anyway, Ferrari coming round the final corner. Who is that? It's Cam, the US stalwart. What can he do for the Americas? Ace 14th. That is absolutely awful. Anyway, Carsey coming across the line now. I assume that is. He's on a 53.4, but of course he did make that mistake. Where's he going to go? BRT front row lockout. Ooh. Get the klaxons out. FRT Harvey. Across the line, 14.9, P7, not bad. Bowman has finished his lap and is down in 6th place. That is mightily disappointing. SLR Sam comes up and goes 15th. There's a Haas about to cross the line. Is that Halo or Simba? It's Halo and goes 14th, replaces Cam. There is a Mercedes about to cross the line of Lucas, 53.5 middle, goes up to 12th. This is not a great qualifying for TF10. Venom to the top. Venom to the top. Zinity, where does Zinity go? 6th. And now it has to cross the line. Simba doesn't improve. Drobble, what can Drobble do? Good middle sector. Oh, he's missed out on pole by just 200ths. Nico about to cross the line. 7 split. Does a 0.2. If Dan improves, then it's more than likely going to be a back row lockout for SLR, which is, I'm sure, not what they wanted. Easton, boxes, not going to improve his time. Placky, not going to improve his time. And who are we waiting for? Dan, I believe. Okay, no, he's backed off massively. Bobert's perhaps on a lap. Nope, that is it for qualifying. So we have Shazoo Venom on pole position ahead of Drobble, Passy and Carsey. Placky and Zinity locking out the 3rd row for Alpine TTM. Bowman down in 7th, and that's the surprise of the session for me, Lennon. I don't know what's gone wrong there, but something just has not clicked for Bowman. And he's lining up alongside FRT Harvey, which I'm sure isn't what he wanted when he thought, right, I'm doing AEC tonight. But there you are. Swings and roundabouts. TF10 on their AEC debut, 9th and 12th, which is a pretty average return, to be honest. It's a solid foundation by all means. But yeah, not a headline-grabbing performance by any means, which is slightly unfortunate for them. Here are the full results. 14.641 was the pole time. Drobble, again...
Is his batteries gone again? You might have to get the wheel out. He's probably going to have to get the wheel out. So yeah, we've got... I'll cover for him now.
No, it's fine, it's fine. I found a wire. I have found a wire. My controller is plugged in. This will not happen again. What is Martin Luther King levels of inspiration? The Nath quote above it. Right, okay, cool. Smeggy says, Chelsea, get your ass off comms. I'm trying, man. Like, it took me about half an hour to work out how the graphics work, and now I will go silent and let the intro for this race play out. A truly inspirational compilation of overtakes there. Oh, hello. I've just got my computer talking back to me. I don't want to hear my own voice. There we go. Right, AEC. Here we go. Any predictions for this race, Lennon?
Passy did quite well in that qualifying, so I'm gonna go for a Passy win because he looked very strong in that qualifying there. So I feel like it's probably. I feel like it's his to win. I feel like his race pace, he could definitely win this.
Yeah, I think Passy's definitely in with a shout, but I'm going to have to back Nath's small setback for long-term comeback, and I'm going to go for Liam Bowman to win this race because he is just indomitable on this game. He's just so fast. And though he's starting down in 7th, all he needs to do is keep his nose clean. This race is 35 laps long. It's a long one. So hopefully we can see some good racing from him. As we just wait for the start of the race here.
Should be ready and up now.
Excellent. Right.
I hope so anyway.
Quantum's asking for fuel. That's probably not the greatest thing for outplayed managers to be hearing, that their driver doesn't know how much fuel he's putting in. Unfortunate, really, but there you go.
No one's readied up yet.
No one has readied up yet. Please, I know like it's an unwritten rule that no one wants to be the first one to ready up, but just do it. Like, we've got a show to get on the road here. No one? Oh dear. Yeah. Oh no, they have readied up. The race is about to start. 5 red lights are on here in Hungary. Foot to the floor, engine notes rise, and we are go. Venom gets a good start from pole position. Drobble immediately alongside him, down into turn 1, wheel banging. Passy makes it 3 wide. Drobble into the lead. Bowman with a huge send. He's up into almost P3. Is that? Oh, and there's a spinner. Passy has gone round. That is so unfortunate. He's gone from 3rd down to 19th at turn 1. Quantum has lost places too. TF10 Lucas is now in 5th. I remember TF10 being down in 9th and 12th at the start. They've made up places. This is a perfect start for NVR. 1st and 3rd. There's 2 cars into the wall. That is Cam and Dan. Cam is out of the race, and we immediately have this race thrown. A safety car. Dearie me, what a start that was, Lennon.
What has just happened there? all the drama into the first corner there, and then two drivers going into a wall there, and Cam is now unfortunately out of this race.
I'm
Not the
gutted
best
for,
start.
yeah, I'm gutted for Passy, man, because he was really on form in qualifying, and yeah, it's just, you never want to see that. I'm not quite sure what happened with Dan and Cam. It happened in the backdrop of the whole thing. Actually, let's get tyres up. And I've just discovered why Liam Bowman made such a flying start. He is on the soft compound tyre, as is Drobble. NVR committing to what potentially could be a 2-stop. Because it would be, you can do a 1-stop soft medium, but it's very difficult to stretch those tyres out. So this is aggressive from MVR, and this safety car is going to play into their hands because they can now run those tyres longer, and it gives them more strategic option. And I will just stick on the safety car overlay for vibes. Hold on, there we are. Doesn't that look wonderful? Safety car is now deployed officially as the red Mercedes waits to pick up the field. 5 drivers are into the pits, actually, while I say that. Both FRT drivers, they're double stacking. Zinati, Passy, I would assume, with damage, and he's bolted on a fresh set of mediums.
I have a slight feeling the back 3 there that have come in, I think they're all damaged. They were the 3 that.
Absolute carnage.
Oh,
Finn Bob says request a fact. Okay.
Oh.
I'm not usually the one who does this, but here's a random... Oh, Christ. What's a random
that's
fact?
2.
Okay, right. Oh, God. Right. One fact for you is that FRT Harvey goes away next Monday to start studying his ecology degree. It's a master's degree. Yeah. It's really good. I don't really know why he's doing it, because what does political ecology even mean? I don't know what it means, but yeah, he's doing it. So best of luck to you, Harvey. You're down in 14th at the moment. We might even give him a little bit of coverage later to make him feel special. But yeah, that is your fact, Finn Bob. There you go. I hope you're very appreciative of the 600 channel points you just wasted.
That of course just sounds massively Tory to me, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's Fox that's known as the Tory of FRT, but maybe Harvey could be looking to steal that title from him. But anyway, under safety car conditions here, lap 2 of 35.
Oh, the number 1.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's another one.
Oh yeah, Quee requested it twice.
There's 2.
Yeah. Oh, good lord. Right. One of your facts, Quee, is that FRT Dan is from Birmingham, and he has a very Brummy accent, and he is hilarious to sit in a party with because he just can't pronounce anything. And while we're on the subject of FRT Dan, that can be your second fact, actually. He once did a foundation maths paper for GCSE while he was in year 9. It was out of 63, so this is foundation maths, by the way, so this is the easiest it can be. You cannot get easier. The first question is literally like 36% of 100. That's all. This is the level. And he got 0 out of 63. So we're dealing with an intellectual. We're dealing with an intellectual here, down in 17th. Let's just, yeah.
Hang on, what is sports Wolves and West Brom?
Wolves and West Brom.
Tell me you're joking.
Oh, that's got to be a joke, surely. No, you can't do that.
The rivalry between them two, no way.
Dan couldn't write 3005 in numbers. Yeah, literally, that is the level. That is the level we're talking here. It's very unfortunate. I've got a Discord ping. Rev says, whenever you say Lucas, say TF10 Lucas with an O instead of a 0, because that's what he's got in his gamer tag. Oh, he's cocked.
More facts.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's Lucas has cocked up his gamer tag. I've just noticed that. Yeah. Okay, Rev, that's fine. Oh, Rev and Cam, Jesus Christ, you're testing the limits of my knowledge here. Safety car in this lap. Sod your request of facts. Here's your fact. Drobble is Danish, and Bowman is Scottish and sounds English because he's weird. But anyway, we are almost ready to go racing. NVR will be looking to break away from the pack here. Really need to make the most of their soft compound tyres. Bowman needs to clear Venom almost immediately, and Drobble is setting a pretty quick pace. There's going to be some Magello type closing up here if he's not careful, and he has gone, and he's got a decent gap of around 4/10. And Bowman, is he on the battery? He is on the battery. He's looking to get past Shazoo Venom straight away up the inside into turn 1. Venom not really going to fight it, because what can he do? There's moves in the background. Halo on Choco For 8th place, that is a decent move, although of course there is a tyre offset there. Lucas has got past Carsey while I was focusing on that one. Is there any more action up and down the grid? Doesn't look... Oh yes, there is. Choco and Halo are still going at it. Halo up the inside, now up the hill into the second sector. Tucks in ahead of Choco, the TF10 man, relegated to 9th position.
At least it's a clean restart this time.
Yeah, perfectly clean. No, I was about to say no mistakes as Drobble goes very deep into the chicane, and that's going to let Bowman close right back up onto him. As Venom is just outside, I think now. Yeah, he will not get DRS when it gets reactivated. The NVR boys have got to pull away, and they are pulling away. This is a fearsome pace being sat out front.
Said Caroline.
Fair enough. Smeggy requests interval gaps. Yeah, you can have them. Oh, yeah, that's more than fine. Yeah, Bowman sets a 17.9 fastest lap. That is pretty quick considering the guys on the hards have done some race practice here. They'll be in the 19s. And we've got fighting for 15th. It's the only fighting on the track. Zinity round the outside of Passy. Passy, of course, having that extremely unlucky start, which, you know, there's just nothing you can do in those sorts of situations, and he's just lost another place to Zinity, who, if I remember correctly, also started quite high up the grid, so I assume he got caught up in that crash as well. Very unfortunate for him, as they're all going to now file through single file, and the first penalty of the race goes to TF10 Choco, 3 seconds for multiple warnings, and considering there's been pretty much 2 laps of actual racing, non-safety car affected laps that is, that's a bit ominous for his race, because you can assume that he's just going to pick up penalty after penalty after penalty. Now we go back out front.
Not an ideal start for Choco, that is it, getting a penalty so early.
No, it really isn't.
It's been quite closed up now, hasn't it? So be interesting to see if many overtakes happen, as DRS is going to be turned on now.
Yeah, DRS is enabled, and Halo is crawling all over the back of Choco. He's really draining his battery. He wants to get the move done. Is he going to get the move done? Oh, that's a late move from Bobberts into turn 1. Halo forced round the outside. Is he going to make it stick? They're now going to go wheel to wheel. He's out on the curb. Bobberts has raced really aggressively there. And, you know, you like to see aggression, but I wonder if that was just a little bit too much. He moved very late for his defence, as Quantum has passed Passy for 16th. I wonder if Passy still has some form of side pod damage or something that's hurting his pace, because he just is going backwards. And it's really, I mean, 15 minutes ago he was on provisional pole, and now he's down right at the back with only FRT Dan behind him, which is just devastating really for a driver of his capability to be up the front and then have it robbed so quickly.
Shows my betting knowledge as well, considering I was going to put a bet on him to win the race, and
yeah. And
yeah.
my Bowman bet, yeah, it's looking fab, yep. But yeah, Venom, he might have lost DRS to Bowman, which of course would be expected. Lucas has almost lost DRS from him, so Venom really solidifying that 3rd place. As Lucas, oh, he just snuck in, 0.95 of a second, and he has just snuck in. Carsey, he was on the battery there, and I did wonder if he was going to go for a move, but he opts to remain behind the Mercedes of TF10 Lucas. Sorry, Rev, I've messed it up. I'm just going to call it. Look, it's too much for my brain. I'm calling him TF10. Yeah, Lucas, that's his name. Yeah, Harvey up into 12th ahead of Simbarox on the medium compound tyre. He was, of course, one of the ones to box early. As Zinity and Sam now go wheel to wheel. Zinity up into 14th place, another one to stop early. And Quantum is going to follow him through round the outside. Up the hill now, in towards the 2nd sector. Sam on the outside, Quantum has the inside, and Quantum has 15th place. As Bowman is really on the back of Drobble here, separated by just 3/10. I wouldn't be surprised to see a swap, as we've got a yellow flag, and it's FRT Dan already down the back, and his race is just getting worse and worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really not ideal there. I do wonder if they're now going to have to do something particularly extravagant with the strategy, because an orthodox strategy isn't going to earn him the 6 seconds that he's now lost to the pack. So perhaps a set of softs in the middle of the race might do the trick, as Drobble and Bowman run in formation down the front straight. Will Bowman go for the lead off of his teammate? Yes, he will. Bowman, after starting 7th, it's taken him 7 and just over a straight to get into the lead of the AEC Hungarian Grand Prix. And my bet for him winning is now looking very strong indeed, as Quantum and Zinity now go wheel to wheel. Passy and Sam also reciprocating that behind. Passy now on the outside line, but Sam tucks in behind, knows he can't really fight it. He is on the hard compound tyre, I believe. I will quickly bring up tyres. There we are. There we are, that's what everyone's on. And a lot of the guys in the midfield on the medium tyres as Simbarox picks up a 3 second.
That's the second penalty of the race, and also be interesting to see if many other drivers pick up penalties sooner rather than later.
Harvey and Nico, they're going wheel to wheel through the middle sector. I said it couldn't be done. Harvey now up into 11th place. I don't really know what happened there, and I wish I'd caught that, because that must have been some move to go around the outside of those corners. Perhaps Nico got a little bit deep at the chicane and just opened the door for him, really, as Drobble has nearly... When you consider that Bowman was right on the back of him when he was in the dirty air, Drobble has slipped back considerably now he's in the dirty air. Bowman looking the faster of the two NVR men, as Venom is now bringing that gap back in. That gap was well over 2 seconds at one point. It is now 1.8. As behind, TF10 Lucas and Carsey wheel to wheel into the first corner. Carsey late on the brakes, gets 4th place. Lovely move from the Northern Irishman, racing for Bunga Racing Team. And yeah, nothing more to be said about that. Excellent move. He's now going to kick on, and he's got to get within that DRS of Venom, because DRS is just so powerful on this game.
Yeah, especially on a track like this, on a straight like that, DRS is going to be your best mate in going down that main straight.
It is, and he sets a purple sector 1 to boot. Rev says, I requested a fact and didn't get a fact, give me a refund. I'm very sorry, I was busy, commentating on the race, so I missed it. I'm very sorry. I'm new to this business, but here's another fact for you. TF10 Lucas has a 0 in his name instead of an O instead of his name instead of a 0. There you go, there's your facts. You told me that earlier, you didn't say what kind of fact. But yeah, that is called a loophole. Drobble 8/10 behind Bowman. Yeah, he's really struggling for pace here as Drobble, but he has got a full battery to play with, so I wonder if he's just in conserve mode to try and eke these tyres out for as long as possible. And the fact we're seeing degradation this early, considering there were 2 safety car laps, does not bode well for the MVR strategy, Lennon.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you probably look at them coming in the next, 5 laps?
Yeah, probably. Placky, by the way, has just come in ahead of Lucas for 5th position, but runs deep into turn 1, but gets another dose of DRS. It's not going to be an issue for him, as Quantum goes up the inside of Simbarox on a lap newer medium tyres. They're going to wheel bang down the straight into turn 3. Still wheel banging. This is very aggressive racing, and Simbarox might be... Oh, he's got so loose out of that corner. Quantum is now going to have the run, surely. But no, he just has to tuck in behind. Simba all over the road, and he's rode the curb and he's gone straight on. Did he hit the wall? It looked like he ran perilously close to it. He's driving anywhere but on the racetrack at the moment, and he's down to 17th behind SLR Sam.
Yeah, it's not ideal for Simbarox there. He's dropped right back down to the back, and obviously Dan's the only person behind him now, so it's not ideal for him now. He's going to have to really make up this time, and he's got a penalty as well. He's going to really have to make this up now.
Yeah, not ideal in the slightest. It's just gone chaotic. It's gone chaotic for Simbarox. I mean, that was great racing down towards turn 3, but then he threw it all away on that outside curb, which you can get beached on. It's so easy to do. It's just a simple slip, like maybe a millimetre too wide, and you're just hooked onto that curb, and you're heading straight for the barrier, as Venom has closed the gap down to 1.6 seconds, although that is being influenced by the fact that Drobble is pulling away down the DRS straights, and then Venom is making back that time and a little bit more every lap with the use of the better conditioned hard compound tyres. Those softs will really be going off now. And judging by the fact that MVR haven't boxed, I think it's safe to say they're on a one-stopper, but an aggressive one-stopper, and they will go to medium tyres on perhaps the next 2 or 3 laps. Think that'd be a fair bet. PSR Nick says, where did we qualify? That is an excellent question, Nick, and see, that is a fact that I can tell you. Drobble qualified on the front row, and Liam Bowman qualified down in 7th, but is now running in the lead as SLR Sam 7 picks up a penalty for track limits. And I get the feeling that won't be the last penalty we see for them, because in the first 11 laps we've had 3 penalties, and if we continue at that rate, half the grid will have one. So, yeah, bit of statistics thrown in there for you. As Harvey is right on the back of Easton for 10th place, those mediums will be starting to feel some tyre wear now. Is he going to go for a move? No, he's not silly. He's going to stick in behind for the 3rd sector. Easton with 51% battery, Harvey with 67. So, Easton runs wide there, and Harvey's now crawling all over the back of him as SLR Nico gets very wide and almost onto the grass there coming into the entry to the final corner. Harvey now will have DRS, he's using the battery, Easton is not using his. Harvey will surely make this overtake stick easily, and he does, and Bobbett's up the inside of Lucas for 6th place further up the field. Will Lucas get a cut back? No, he will not. Oh, maybe he will. Apologies. He's only a 10th behind heading into turn 3, and Bobbett's runs wide, opens the door for Lucas, but Lucas gets beached on that curb, and he just cannot get the exit, and he's drifted wide himself. Just generally mistakes all round there. People seem to be struggling. Oh, what have I missed?
The battle between Nico and Quantum there. Nico has been slightly pushed off track there by Quantum from my eyes, from what I've seen on Barber Passy.
We like to keep things clean here. Oh, I've just seen something absolutely preposterous through the chicane as Lucas and Halo tried going too wide. I don't know how they thought they were going to make that work, but Halo is now in 8th place in a TF10 sandwich with Choco right up his sphincter. Although, of course, carrying that penalty, which will compromise his finishing position. And Venom is no longer... Oh, did I just see a move? No, he just faked a move. Venom is sticking around the 1.6 mark now. He's not bringing that gap in anymore, so perhaps those hards have just hit their first drop-off stage. And Joseph in the chat says, Chelsea 0, Brighton 0. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was rather hoping for a Mudryk goal. I mean, it's been 9 months and he hasn't scored one, but delusion keeps you alive as well. Halo's been almost tipped into a spin, and Lucas has lost it all on his own, destroys the DRS board. I don't know what that DRS board did to him, but he's absolutely murdered it. Simba Rocks takes 15th, Lucas down to 16th, and really that's almost an amateurish mistake. You simply don't lose the back end there, and he's still losing the back end. Perhaps his tyres are just overinflated or something, and the pressures are too high, and his tyre temperatures have gone through the roof. But yeah, not a great display of driving there for Lucas and TF10 on their debut, and he's now run wide, and SLR Sam is sniffing around hoping for 16th, which is of course out of the points, but every position is fought for with pride in racing, and Sam is forced to tuck back in for the time being.
Yeah, that wasn't the best showing of the TRS quality, really.
No, it's unfortunate because you could tell it was just a simple mistake that we saw Sebastian Vettel make so many times over the years, where you just get that little bit too greedy on the throttle. Oh, I'm hearing woes. What am I hearing woes for?
What's Quantum going for there?
Easton and Quantum. That must have been an unorthodox move, because you don't see moves into that corner often, and now they're both on the battery. Quantum with 25% less, but he has the inside line heading down into turn 1. The Red Bull on the Ferrari. Easton brakes later, but Quantum still has that inside line. Easton is almost run off the road. He's almost on completely all 4 wheels off. Nico now looking for a move up the inside into turn 3, and do you know what? I think he's got it done, but Easton will get better traction out of the corner and now has the inside line and takes that place back again as Nico gets beached on the curb, and that might invite Passy through. It doesn't, and they all follow single file into the second sector. Great bit of racing that.
Yeah, apart from a little bit on turn 13 that I saw before you switched over to it, it wasn't exactly the best standard that we've seen so far, but yeah, from that point on, it was very good racing.
It was, and something that's just been pointed out to me by Nick in the live chat, softs dropping off, boys, and I've just looked and I've noticed a Wild Venom now in the lead DRS train. Let's see what happens with that one, because now of course he's not going to lose the say 3-4 tenths that you lose by not being in the DRS. Him and Carsey are now very much back in the fight for this win, which is great to see. You always love to see a multi-car fight for the win and a multi-team fight for the win, because of course when it's the same team they're going to look to try and just conserve the result, hold stations, go home. But it looks like we might get a slightly more interesting finale than that come 20 laps time, Lennon.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Now, obviously, Bowman and Drobble are probably going to be looking at pitting probably at the end of this lap now. So it's going to be interesting to see whether...
Oh, I'm hearing oars. What's happened? Oh, Easton for
Nico's
ETE.
put Easton in the wall.
Oh dear, is there damage to the Ferrari? Not visually on the left-hand side of his wing, and neither on the right side, so it looks like he'll be okay to continue, but he is now in the final points-paying position in 14th, and on old hard tyres, he surely can't have much grip left at this point, and he'll be looking to come in and put the mediums on anytime soon.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Not ideal at all, no. And Venom, I've just noticed, Venom is now within half a second of Drobble, who is dropping away from Bowman. Bowman's pace on these old soft tyres is immense. And Venom is closing in on the slightly more inexperienced Drobble, who is impressed massively with wins in all sorts of tournaments, including here in AEC on multiple occasions. And now Venom is not on the battery. He's going to look to just sit in behind on this occasion, and you've got to wonder, when are MVR going to pull their drivers in, Lennon?
I'm thinking this lap, surely. I mean, out of the two you'd pull Drobble in first, don't you?
You'd think so, as behind them, Nico and Zinity going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Oh, they both get a little bit loose coming out of that corner through the flat kink of 2. Zinity with the DRS. Nico can do nothing to prevent Zinity from taking 12th position. Now we rejoin with the leader, Liam Bowman. He just looks so calm and composed out front as Easton makes a move on Nico for 13th position. But this is it's almost Bowman's territory. He's used to leading races, and he's doing so again, even from that lowly 7th place on the grid. And yeah, you've just got to say, what a driver at that point, as Venom is closing up to the back of Drobble quite significantly. I do wonder if NVR are going to have to pull Drobble in this lap, because Drobble does not seem to have the pace of his teammate, and he's rather clinging on with DRS. But we will see as they round the penultimate corner. Choco is close to the back of Harv. Oh, keep an eye on that one. Who pits? Does anyone pit? Bowman pits. They pull Bowman in first at NVR, looking to secure him the victory. He will get an enormous undercut that will keep him well out of DRS range of the people behind. Venom now is looking for the overtake on Drobble. This is for the current lead of the race, not the net lead. Venom late on the brakes, round the outside, goes in too deep, marbles on his tyres. Will he be able to make the mistake? He's got a stupendous exit out of that corner. Drobble is forced to concede. Venom takes the lead of the race for Team Shizou. We have multiple pitters, including Bobbert, Halo, Choco and Nico. But yeah, what a move from Venom. I thought he'd overcooked that. I thought he'd got that hideously wrong going into turn 1, but he just got drive out of nowhere coming out of the corner, and Drobble is forced to concede the place to the Shizou Padman.
Yeah, it was very... Obviously, you think at turn 1 when he's locked up there, his Kazi goes into the back of Drobble there. You think with Venom there, he locked up going into turn 1, and you just think, yeah, he's just going to have to concede that now. But he's just found pace from somewhere and got straight through past Drobble. Whether it's Drobble just conceding the place, knowing that it's the inevitable thing, or Venom has just found that pace.
Yeah, of course, there was a lot of battery involved from Venom to try and get past Drobble. Both of them wanted track position, and Venom still has 2/3 of his battery to play with, opting not to come in. Drobble surely is in this lap. He is in this lap, and what will be important here is to look for the gap between Bowman and Drobble to see how powerful this undercut is. Though, of course, Drobble will have lost time fighting with Venom. Both of them will have lost time. So the gap between Bowman and Drobble will be slightly exacerbated by that. But the gap will surely be in excess of around 3 seconds, as Bowman is already coming down the start-finish straight, and he's ahead of now of FRT Dan, who of course hasn't stopped. Bowman passes Drobble, who is still doing 78 kilometers an hour down the pit lane, and there's Bowman into turn 1. Drobble has not even made his way out of pit exit, and Bowman actually needs to clear these cars. Does Lucas let him through? He's defending the inside line very aggressively. Bowman, there's contact. Bowman is being forced around the long way, but it now switches back to the inside, and he gets the move done on the TF10 man for P7 in the race. But that move was crucial. He needed to get that done. And actually, I've just noticed ESV Bobberts has jumped Drobble in the pits. I don't know how that's happened, because Bobberts was down in 5th or 6th position, I think, and well off of Drobble, but a lap earlier pits has brought him ahead of the Danishman.
Yeah, that clearly shows this undercut is very powerful.
It does. It really does. And now you've got to be wondering, do Venom and Carsey box this lap? Yes, they do. They've seen how powerful the undercut is, and they're opting to bring their drivers in. Placky follows them in. Quantum will take the lead of this race for the time being, going long on the medium tyre, perhaps looking for a soft tyre finale to this race. Zinity follows him round. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Venom and Carsey come out in relation to Drobble, who I thought was a bit cautious on pit entry when he came in, which may have contributed to him being behind Bobberts, who sets the fastest lap of the race. Instantly replaced, though, by TF10 Choco, and Bobberts is going to go down the inside of FRT Dan, but cannot make it stick, as Dan gets into the side of Sam. That's for 6th and 7th on the road. It'll be less than that once they both box, and this is holding up Bobberts. It's not what he needs, and it's letting Liam Bowman just clear off out front.
Yeah, Liam's massively.
Oh, we've got yellow
smacking his way
flags.
through this.
We have yellow flags. I'm not sure for what, because everyone seems to be pointing in the right direction. But as it is, Choco is on 2 lap older. He pitted before everyone else. He pitted the same lap as Bowman. And he is now ahead of Venom, who was second on the road, as Bobberts has got the move done into the chicane on Dan. That's, again, unorthodox, but people are making these unorthodox places to overtake work in this race somehow. It's a great display of racecraft.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and you got to give credit to Bowman now. He's up into 3rd already. This undercut is massive for him, and look at how fast he's catching Zinity now as well.
It is. I mean, for Quantum and Zinity, they're just sitting ducks. I mean, Bowman will be on the back of Zinity in a lap as Drobble clears Dan. Oh, that's almost 3 wide into the final corner. Behave, lads. That is not where you go 3 wide. Drobble goes round the outside of Sam. Who doesn't have DRS in this train? It's Sam that doesn't. I wasn't sure who'd gone over the detection line first. And now they're going to go almost 3 wide, nearly 4 wide into turn 1. Dan on the inside. Carsey follows through and is now going to... Oh, dear! I think there may have been contact there between Carsey and Drobble. Drobble is spun round, and that is huge for the championship. NVR with a huge lead currently. Carsey's currently ghosted, but NVR are going to lose points because of that, and what looked like a double podium. I mean, Bowman is still on for a pretty comfortable win, but that is controversial. Drobble now down to 16th, and almost that's his race done.
Yeah, that's... You'd be good if you Drobble.
Wait, Joseph, are you serious? Has Nicholas Jackson scored? Hold on, you can't tease me like that. You can't tease me. Hold on. Let's go BBC Sport. Hang on, there is still a race going on. I'll tune back in.
No, I'll commentate over.
Yeah, you do that.
Bowman is massively caught in it now, and it's inevitable.
Jackson!
This overtakes.
Goal! He scored. He's the Drogba regen. I absolutely love that man. As Carsey is now all over the back of Lucas. Back to the race. But anyway, Carsey round the outside.
Oh, Bowman.
Has Bowman just done 2 in 1? Oh, he has as well, with
Wow.
DRS into not just the net lead anymore, but the full lead of this race. I mean, it's looking like a comfortable win now for Bowman. He's over. Well, I'll quickly flick over to the gap to leader graphic as Bobberts clears Simbarox. Yeah, the gap between Bowman and Bobberts is 6.5 seconds. They're on the same age of tyres. I mean, for Bowman now, this is just a walk in the park. I don't want to commentate as curse it at all. I really don't. But surely there's no way he loses this without the intervention of a safety car. This has been a very impressive performance in the race after what you have to admit was a subpar qualifying. But yeah, my bet for the win. I mean, yeah, I clearly just have elite wheel knowledge, and yeah. Bobberts, by the way, I do feel the need to mention him as Carsey gets past Lucas into the middle sector, and that could set up a move for Halo. Of course, these two are... Oh, actually, no, Halo's on much fresher hards, but he's still got to get the move done. Is he going to go round the outside?
Whoa!
No, he's been forced off. There's a double TF10 combo move there, and they've both managed to somehow combine. I think Choco might have got slightly into the back of him, and then... Lucas ran in wide as Harvey now makes the move on Lucas as well. Oh, dearie me, Lucas. You cannot dive bomb on 20 lap old hards, for God's sake, man. And Harvey has lost time from that, thankfully still pointing in a straight line. That would have been hugely dramatic if Harvey had been tipped round there. But anyway, back to what I was on about before the chaos ensued. Bobberts. He was down in the middle of the top 10, but that early decision from Shizou to pull the pin and bring him in has paid off handsomely, with them now sitting 2-3. And if my maths are correct, once everyone files out, so when Zinity, Simbarox box, Shizou will be the biggest point scorers from this race, which I'm sure is going to delight Mr. Smeggy.
Like it's being said in chat now, I'm pretty sure that's the second time Lucas has taken out Halo.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made contact down at turn 1, isn't it? They just seem to love each other. I'm not really sure what it is about each other that they so profusely like, but they're just seemingly drawn to each other as Carsey gets Simbarox for 5th, and now is there going to be a move between Simbarox and Choco? Choco crawling all over the back of the FGE man. Oh, they've both gone wide. Oh dear! What on earth happened there? Has Simbarox got a puncture? Because he just peeled over to the side of the road. That was very confusing. And Choco just rear-ended him. Someone must have damage from all that, surely. I'm not even really sure what happened there. They just all seem to glue to each other. But either way, Choco is now 7th, of course, carrying that penalty. And Harvey, for FRT, is running in a strong 6th position. Of course, their other car well out of the points with Dan. But as behind, Choco, inside line, breaks deep. Passy has managed to work his way up through a combination of undercut and driving skill back into 8th place. And I'm actually very happy to see that because he was one of my stars of qualifying. So to see him up the front is great. And he's going to have to get the move done on Choco quickly. Over to you, Lennon.
Yeah, obviously it was my bet to win the race, and he's slowly making his way back up after I probably cursed him in that turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, commentator's curse, does it exist, does it not? It very much existed for Passy at the turn 1 when he got spun round by an unidentified person. I don't actually know who it was who turned him round, though my bets would be on Zinity, considering he also came in for damage on the first lap, and it would make sense if he rear-ended Passy. But obviously that is unconfirmed, it's speculation only. I'm not wishing to cause any drama. But yeah, while I say that, Venom has closed in a second to his teammate. Of course, 2-lap fresher tyres. The tyre offset around this track is enormous. So Bobberts has taken short-term gain by jumping the field and now runs in a net second just behind Zinity, who he's going to need to clear quickly. But Venom and Carsey on the freshest tyres of the top 5. Could they maybe... I mean, Bobberts is definitely within range for both, but could they mount a late charge for Bowman? I mean, it would be something sensational as Passy and Choco go wheel to wheel, and Choco has lost the place to Passy. Passy now 7th, Choco 8th. And from what was a calamitous start for Bunga Racing Team, of course, they do have that Carsey Drobble incident hanging over them like a cloud, but temporarily, at least, they are running in a net 4th and 6th.
I'll get Quantum back in.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be ideal. As Choco and Placky now go wheel to wheel round turn 6, I think that is. As there's also, or surely not, Halo and Easton into the chicane.
Yep, sent him an invite.
Lovely, thank you. Although of course it is not really a great race for Quantum anyway, down in 14th, and he will be looking to make use as soon as we get him back in this session. We will be looking to make use of his new fresh medium tyres, but that AI sim will be losing him time. Rev's just said Jackson again 2-0. This is why he's the GOAT. Honestly, he is literally Drogba with a Somalian passport. But anyway, is Quantum back in the session? Have you managed to ping him an invite?
I've sent him an invite. I don't know if he's back in.
Cool, yeah, his car's still ghosted for the time being as Venom makes the move on the hard-shod Zinity for 3rd position. And Placky makes the move on Choco. Choco going backwards at the moment in this race, and Drobble is now trying around the outside, but has a huge snap mid-corner, and that will make him vulnerable to Halo. Halo on the battery, he's looking for the move on the Danishman, up the inside into turn 3. It's clean so far. We're going to go on board with Drobble, who will have the inside line. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Halo preserves the position that he won in turn 3, moves up into 10th for FGE. Good move.
Yeah, we're seeing some very good moves going in now, so hopefully these last, 10 laps, we're going to see some very good racing.
Very good indeed for FGE as Dan picks up a penalty to just compound his miserable race. Is Quantum still isn't back in the session. I will yeah, if you could try and ping him.
Oh no, he said that's him done.
Oh, okay. Unfortunate then for OP, who will be surely, once Dan gets past his ghost, will surely be scoring 0 points, which really isn't the return they'd be looking for, as Carsey gets very, very, very loose on the exit of the final corner, but he's going to do Zinity fairly comfortably, using all of his battery for some reason, as the 2 Shazoo drivers, while I say that, swap round. Venom on his fresher tyres clears Bobberts. Smeg says OP really impressed on debut, gotta be fair. Yeah, honestly, a generational performance, you gotta be honest. Halo, while I say that, makes the move on Choco. Halo is really putting those hard tyres to good use, and Drobble too deep on the brakes, and that is surely his race done and dusted now. Stationary at turn 3. He's dropped out of the points, and he'll now be in the clutches of FRT Dan. They can scrap for the final point, which I'm sure will be not what either of them were looking for, but it's the reality they faced at the moment.
Yeah.
Super clean move indeed, Joe. Very clean indeed. Drobble's race has gone from bad to worse. The first bit of contact I don't think was his fault. The second one, it was, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way racing goes sometimes, and our victor from last time out in Britain will unfortunately be only picking up a handful of points today unless something drastic happens in these final 8 laps. Bowman starting lap 27 now. It's been a commanding performance. Strategy has undoubtedly vaulted him into that sort of a lead, but the fact he's maintaining that gap on that length of tyres has Drobble gone again. He has gone again, and now he's driving backwards. Does he know the track's the other way? Okay, right, he's got the message. Right, as Placky and Passy now go wheel to wheel into turn 1, Placky up to 7th, Passy down to 8th, Choco and Easton, they had some form of altercation, and Choco definitely came out superior. He's into 10th, though, of course, carrying that penalty. Easton in 11th for ETE. Oh dear, I just skipped away as Halo has hit the wall. That's a heavy clout of damage. Surely that's damage. Surely that's damage. Have I just seen Jackson hat-trick 4-0?
No.
What parallel dimension is this?
No. They're taking the piss.
Oh.
It's still 1-0.
That's just... yeah.
One thing I will say is it's getting a bit dark.
Oh, there's a spinner. We have a spinner. SLR Sam has gone round. And yeah, you are right, Lennon. It is getting a little bit overcast.
That's come out of nowhere. Like,
it's just
I look at the
in,
chat and next thing I look up and yeah. So are we going to get anything?
Could that be a reason why Zinity is staying out on his hard tyres? He's waiting for rain to hit, possibly. Insight. You wouldn't get it anywhere else. But yeah, anyway. As Placky is in a DRS train with Passy and Harvey. Harvey having a solid race for FRT, who of course... they're in a bit of a rebuilding phase now, as they lost a couple of drivers a couple of weeks ago. I wonder who that would be. Yeah. But yeah, this is a decent result from Harv, who wasn't confident going into this race, I can tell you that for free, because his pace in practice was not particularly astonishing, but he's doing a solid job. He's a stalwart of the community, and he's doing an excellent job in this race, although of course Placky does have a lap fresher tyres that he'll surely be using to jump ahead of the Brit whenever he feels that he can. Carsey, while in the meantime, has recovered his battery somewhat. He's on a similar level to Bobberts and is crawling all over the back of the Shazoo Man. What do you think we can see from these two? These two, known for their clean racing, although judging by Carsey's move on Drobble earlier in the race, perhaps I'm wrong. But yeah, these two are generally clean. I'm hoping for a bit of fireworks for the final podium place duel.
Yeah, we want something here, don't we? I mean, the last couple of laps haven't been exactly exciting, have they? So we want something, don't we?
It's settled down, which I think after the chaos of between lap 15 and 25, I think we can accept that as Placky dive bombs Harv, and that's forcing another driver off the track if I've ever seen it. Harv has just gone into a different... He's off into Bulgaria on the exit of turn 1, and Placky has made the move. I do wonder if he should give that back though, because that was very much a push to pass, and I'd imagine FRT will be appealing that for a penalty, because Placky locked the rears and just slid into Harvey. So not the cleanest move of the night by any means. And Placky will now look to clear off from Harvey as TTM run 5 and 6, of course Zinity is falling like a stone. Oh, I just heard a gasp. Have I missed something? I thought I heard you like inhale deeply, so yeah.
No.
Oh, okay, right. Nothing to report. Anyway, Lucas picks up a penalty. He's down in 16th anyway. He will be scoring 0 points in this race, barring something completely out of this world. Quantum, by the way, still runs in 13th. despite leaving the session about 6 laps ago, Dan has not managed to catch him. And this sky, Lennon, is looking dark. And it's looking dark as in it might be about to piss down. Because it's got that tinge to the track where it's just a little bit darker than it is when it's just overcast. Oh, the final 5 laps. Bowman has an 8-second lead, but will he, if if he stays out too long on dries and everyone else comes in, for instance, behind it? That's the issue Bowman has. He is almost powerless to make a strategy decision, because if he goes the wrong way with it and boxes from the lead, he's thrown away a win. But if he stays out and the right call was to come in, then he's also bottled the win as Sam retires in the pits. Unfortunate for SLR. They still have one driver in the points in Nico, who's running provisionally in 10th, which would be a decent return for them, which I believe is 5 points, if I know my AEC standings. I think it's 5 points, which would be a decent result. And Bowman, yeah, Nick, you have just pointed out a very good fact. Bowman is on 100%. That is time wasting. I would imagine he's probably going to go for a fastest lap attempt with that at some point. Who currently holds the fastest lap? It's FRT Dan, who will score a point for that, I think, because he is within the points finishing range. As I'll quickly click off of detail for tyre and fastest lap, because no one cares. Interval, there we are.
Do you reckon Bowman and Drobble knew that rain was coming, which is why they started on the soft tyres?
Possibly.
Just try and get out and get away.
Yeah, perhaps it was never intended to be a one-stop. Perhaps they were just looking to run aggressive tyres until the rain hits. That would make sense. There is currently no rain coming down, so if there's going to be any that changes the track to intermediate conditions, it's going to have to be pretty heavy rain, as Harv just made the move on Zinity for 6th. Yeah, it's going to have to absolutely buck it down to force any sort of tyre changes, because even if it's like Inter's ready conditions by the end of lap 34, start of lap 35, no one will box. They will just slip and slide around trying to see the race home, because it's more costly time-wise to pit for new tyres. And the train for second is continuing as it has done for a few laps now, with Venom second, Bobbett's third and Carsey in 4th.
It's all calmed down now, but if there's any rain, it could get interesting. Oh.
Just as you said it, there are drops on the track here at the Hungaroring. This is going to make for an exciting final laps. No one will pit immediately, obviously. The track is still dry, but moistening, I think is the technical expression. Carsey on the battery.
That's coming down quick.
It is coming down quite quick. Carsey, oh, we could be in for a good finish here. I think Carsey actually wanted to look for a move on Bobbett's there, but just didn't get the traction because he's stuck on the battery for a very long time as Passy clears Zinity, and he needed to do that because he's almost lost touch with Harv, and if he wants any chance of getting 6th, he's going to need to close up to the ecologist. And we'll flick back to the front for the time being. There's no one else particularly close together on the track. Carsey is looking fairly decent, potentially having a run. Oh, Venom goes off track. That'll be a warning as Carsey also goes off the track. And just as I said, he was looking good for a potential podium. Has a 3-second time penalty applied to him, and that won't cost him a place as it stands. Lucas boxes. Lucas does box for intermediate tyres. Is it ready? Is it not? I'm going to have to go gap to the leader for now, just so we can see what he's doing in comparison to Bowman. But
Bowman's still pulling away.
Bowman is still pulling away. Oh yeah, he's in the pits at the moment. They were still on pit exit, so of course he's going slower. We'll have to see as Venom has a massive slide coming into that corner. He needs to keep it on the road above anything else. Does Bowman box? Bowman doesn't box. He's going to stick it out. Does Venom pit? There are droplets on the track. Does anyone box? No, they don't. Let's keep an eye on Lucas's gap to leader. It's 57.4. Is it? It's increasing. Placky pits. Placky has given up 5th position and Harv pits too. Everyone. Passy doesn't come in. Zinity does. Easton does. Choco's coming in. That looked slightly over the pit entry line. Oh, what were you doing? What were you doing?
Casey went for a move on Bobbett's and he's gone massively wide.
Oh dear, and yeah, that's really not ideal.
Everyone's coming in.
Everyone's come in, bar the top 5. This is going to make for an enthralling final few laps. Lucas isn't really catching Bowman, though. I mean, Bowman, of course, is clearly a cut above, so Lucas may be just catching everyone else and not Bowman.
Bowman's pulling away in the rain, man.
Bowman is pulling away at a rate of knots on older tyres. This is just a sensational performance. It's like, you do just have to sit down and applaud sometimes. Sit down and applaud, stand up and applaud. I know what I meant. But yeah, is that Quantum's AI? Yeah, Quantum's AI has not got the memo and is still on dry tyres. So that's going to throw away any chance of points for OP, which is quite frankly a disastrous debut for them. And look at them, they're crawling round. It was definitely the right choice to pit a lap ago. Placky, how many positions will Placky gain out of this?
Bowman's slowing a bit on that corner. They stayed out.
Has Bowman stayed? Bowman stayed out.
Bowman stayed out.
I mean, 30 seconds between Placky and Bowman. As DRS is disabled, 30 seconds is surely too much for Placky to overturn. But for the others, Venom, Bobbits, Carsey, could they be in danger? I think they probably are, because Placky is gaining time hand over fist. How much time does he gain in that one corner alone? Nearly, well over half a second in just one traction zone. This is going to be an absolutely enthralling final 2 laps of the race.
No.
No. What am I saying?
Bowman's... he's made the wrong decision here, I think.
I'm not sure about Bowman making the wrong decision, because 30 seconds is he's gone wide. He's gone wide, Bowman. He's struggling on those tyres, which you can imagine why. Yeah, he's definitely struggling, but Placky isn't gaining enough time by any means to catch Bowman.
No, he's gone.
Who's gone? Quantum?
Bowman spun.
Oh, Bowman spun! Oh, dearie me. I mean...
He's kept it on track, but
he has kept it on track, and it's a bloody good job he had that margin, because he's just lost a huge amount of time to the cars behind him. He needs to just keep it on the road. He's got a huge margin. Placky, the gap is now 26 seconds to Bowman. It's definitely not going to be enough. Placky versus Passy is the only move I can really see happening here, because the gap was just too big to try and overturn for the lead. I mean, whether Venom and Bobbits and Carsey might be in danger still remains to be seen, because Placky has gained in region of about 7 or 8 seconds on this lap, and if you imagine that the track's getting wetter, it'll probably be more like 10 seconds on the final lap. I think Placky could have a run as Carsey makes the move on Bobbits. They're going to go side by side. This isn't what they need. They need to just be running cleanly, and instead they're going to go wheel to wheel. They're just sliding. Look at how little grip they've got. They can barely put the throttle down in 4th gear halfway down towards the start line, but Bobbits maintains 3rd ahead of Carsey. Placky is now on the main straight. He's only 6 seconds behind them. This could be an inspired strategy call from TTM, as Bobbits and Carsey is still going at it while I wasn't watching. Carsey now ahead. Surely he's got the move done, but Bobbits, pad traction OP, gets back up the inside. Carsey takes a wide line. We've got yellow flags.
No!
Venom's gone. Venom has spun round from 2nd, and that is going to gift a place to Placky, who will surely get Carsey and Bobbits. Look at the time he's made. This is absolutely... I mean, Placky, of course, on the tyres that you should be on, but he's making them work, and Harvey might even be looking at a potential podium. This has all gone completely... The form book of the first 30 laps, bar Bowman out front, has gone out of the window. Placky up to 3rd. Surely he's going to do Carsey on the exit of the chicane. Surely... He's got the power down. He's done it.
Placky.
And that will be as high as he goes, I think, as Harvey makes the move into 5th. All Harvey's got to do is clear Bobbits, because Carsey is carrying that penalty. Zenity clears Passy. Passy absolutely made the wrong decision to stay out on dry tyres, because he was running 7th or 8th, and he just did not have the gap to make it work. But someone who did have the gap to make it work, as Harvey clears Bobbits in 4th.
No.
Someone who had the gap. Passy spun. Passy has spun.
No, Passy's coming. Passy's coming. Passy might get him here.
Oh dear. One thing that isn't going to change in these last laps is Liam Bowman on dry tyres. No problem. Liam Bowman wins in AEC Hungary. Placky takes 2nd. And give a round of applause, everyone, to FRT Harvey for taking a very unlikely podium. Carsey takes 4th, Bobbits 5th, but of course Carsey loses positions because of his penalty. Oh, they're sliding all over the place out of the final corner. Choco's in the wall with no front wing. That's Halo up into 10th. Nico has somehow rescued 9th. I'm not sure how he did that. Easton finishes 8th for ETE. That's a good result. Choco is still wheel spinning over the line. And will he score the final point? No. Teammate Lucas takes it. Cool. That was a thrilling final few laps, you got to say, Lennon.
Yes, it was. It was very interesting. I generally thought Passy was going to get Bowman there.
Yeah, I never thought Bowman's victory was in danger until he spun, to be honest, because the gap was just too big. But yeah, that was a commanding drive from Liam Bowman. Led the race from lap 8 of course, lost it briefly in the pit stops, but he never really looked back after that, donning the facial recognition of David Tanitsa in the game, and he rather drove like the esports champion did in his prime. That was an excellent result for Bowman, and NVR, though of course they'll be disappointed with how things panned out for Drobble, they definitely will be thrilled for Bowman taking what I believe is his third win in the championship this season. And now, if you'll excuse me, I do need to check the Chelsea-Brighton score. It's still 1-0. Nicholas Jackson has scored the only goal, but let's round out the results. Bowman takes the win from 7th on the grid. That prediction from me was absolutely mint. Plackey only lost out by 2.5 seconds, so it really was tight whether he'd get the win or not. But in the end, I think he probably would have only needed a couple more corners, but they just didn't come. FRT Harvey takes a very strong third position, and I'm sure they'll be delighted with that over at FRT on a 3-stopper as well, can I add? Of course, one of those will be intermediate tyres, but he somehow made that strategy work. Bobbert's 4th, Zinity 5th, Carsey 6th, Venom 7th, Easton 8th, Nico 9th, Halo 10th, Passy 11th, Dan 12th, Simba 13th, and TF10 Lucas, after multiple acts of terrorism in that race, has claimed the final point ahead of his teammate Choco. Good race that, especially the last few laps. Yeah, pleasure to commentate.
That rain made it very interesting for us, and yeah, it was a great race to commentate on.
It really was, and NVR will have pulled, I think, a little bit of a gap with the jumbling of the last few laps and Shazoo losing places with Venom spinning. I think NVR, despite their Drobble issues, we might call them, I think they're still going to have extended their margin at the top of the standings, and this is the tournament they're prioritising. They really desperately want to win AEC, and they're putting themselves in a great position to do it. Anyway, that, I think, is the end of the stream. How was that race for you, Lennon?
It was very interesting, wasn't it? Then last, 3 or 4 really
yeah,
interesting, but yeah, overall.
No, I can't hear Lennon anymore. Okay, yeah, your mic went really crackly there. I was just trying to find the correct screen. That's what I was looking for. It's the calendar. In a week's time, we will be in Austria at the Red Bull Ring for round 6. I would assume Joseph will be back on comm, so you don't have to put up with me and my lack of batteries. But anyway, thank you for all joining. That was an excellent race to commentate on, and I hope you enjoyed it. Goodbye for now.